Hello there and welcome back to the Serious Stories. I would like to remind everyone that sexual violence can happen to anyone. We often hear about this issue, particularly here in Indonesia, where people often catcall women. Many probably did not know that catcalling is considered as sexual harassment. Many may not realize that this can seriously affect people's mental health, especially in the long run. Catcalling may not be violent, but let's check out this following video to better understand about sexual violence.
Every 2 hours, 3 of Indonesian women experience sexual violence. But remember, this is just a tip of an iceberg. Many of them still buried under the fear of prejudice or trauma. Sexual violence, it's not about sex, gender, or age. It's also not about what are you wearing or doing. It's all about the abuse of power. Sexual violence means any sexual act against a person with coercion, rape, forced marriage, exploitation, sexual harassment, even mental abuse are a part of sexual violence. It can be done not only by strangers, but also your closest ones, friends, partners, or even your family.
Over 50% of women have experienced verbal sexual assault, which includes whistling and unsolicited comments, or commonly known as catcalling. So what is the motivation behind catcalling, and what do women think about it?
We recently paired 3 men and women to talk face-to-face about catcalling.
Menurut tuh catcall itu apa sih?
Catcalling ya, menurut gue sih catcalling itu salah satu bentuk pelecehan seksual bisa dibilang, tapi dilakukan secara verbal. Misalnya nih ada cewek lagi jalan, terus nanti di pinggir jalan ada segerombolan cowok-cowok terus kayak ngegodain, manggil-manggil gitu, itu sih.
Maksud gue kayak cuma sekedar nyapa kayak hey, kayak tadi gue hey merah, atau kayak siwit gitu kayak.
Ya itu bisa dalam bentuk siulan, panggilan kayak gitu, atau lebih parahnya lagi misalnya kayak ada cewek jalan terus nanti ada cowok yang bilang senyum dong Neng, mau dianterin gak? Kayak gitu-gitu sih.
Kalau lu sendiri menurut lu catcall itu apa?
Menurut gua catcall itu lebih ke ajang seru-seruan sih ya.
Oke. Wow.
Jadi karena menurut gua catcall itu tanpa maksud tertentu aja.
Cuman memang niatnya nyapa sebenarnya, cuman nggak tahu ya. Balik lagi mungkin kalau dalam situasi di sekolah rame-rame gerombolan cowok ya kan, terus bareng-bareng manggil gitu. Ayo Dona pagi, kayak mungkin jadinya catcall gitu.
Ini opini pribadi gue ya, catcalling itu menurut gue adalah kayak pintu pertama kita buat kenalan kalau menurut gue. Karena tujuan gue, aduh jadi ketahuan gue udah pernah catcall kan. Jadi tujuan gue itu sebenarnya catcall itu kayak gue sebenarnya pengen ngajak kenalan.
Paling ingat itu waktu SMP.
Iya. SMP udah di catcall.
Iya waktu itu karena di sekolah kan, jadi karena orang tahu nama gue Dona gitu kan, terus mungkin waktu itu juga lagi sering rame yang iklan yang pagi Dona gitu, okay. Jadi sering banget tuh kalau lewat kayak ada yang suka teriak pagi Dona kayak gitu-gitu.
Waktu SD itu jujur awal-awal sih biasanya kayak adik gitu kan, ngiranya kayak oh orang ramah nih nyapa gitu kan, itu sih nggak terlalu masalah ya, kayak cuman adik gitu berangkat kayak gitu contohnya ya. Cuma waktu itu lebih ke masih kecil kok udah gede sih pantatnya gitu-gitu. Itu kan menurutku kayak ya apa tujuan lu?
Tujuannya ya balik lagi pada saat itu, mungkin pada saat gue berkelompok, gue kepengen kayak dominan aja, merasa bahwa gue lebih jantan daripada teman-teman gue yang lain gitu. Bahwa gue berani nih godain cewek gitu.
Kalau lu sendiri lu pernah nggak di catcall?
Gue di catcall pernah sih. Pernah di catcall, jadi waktu itu gue lagi makan tutut di BKT, terus digodain gitu sama cewek-cewek yang pakai mio boncengan bertiga dipanggil mas gitu, Cece mas gitu, ganteng-ganteng makan tutut gitu.
Gue cuma penasaran aja nih kan di masyarakat kita yang sekarang kayaknya kalau ada kejadian catcall kayak gini yang cenderung disalahkan kan adalah perempuannya ya, entah itu dibilang cara berpakaian yang nggak bener lah atau mengundang nafsu lelaki lah, tapi nyatanya pada kenyataannya gue pakai hijab pun juga tetap kena gitu. Nah itu menurut lo gimana?
Kalau gue pribadi, gue sangat-sangat gak setuju ya sebenarnya dengan pandangan kayak gitu. Maksud gue adalah kayak laki-laki masa cuman gara-gara ngeliat perempuan pakai baju kayak gitu langsung kayak deg kan enggak kan?
Seharusnya kan lelaki punya kontrol untuk nggak melakukan itu.
Sekarang saking sering, bukannya bangga di catcall ya, tapi karena udah tahu semakin besar ketika di catcall aku samperin.
Oh gitu.
Iya.
Ngapain tuh kalau boleh tahu?
Pernah paling parah dia di depan aku jalan dia bilang kayak, wah adik kayak gini bikin abang kepingin. Wah langsung itu, sorry maksud lu apa? Maksud lu apa? Kayak gitu ini. Ini sorry ya.
Iya.
Iya. Sekarang gue lawan.
Alangkah baiknya emang harusnya hati-hati. Dan mesti ditekanin lagi, ternyata emang catcall itu nggak cuma dialamin korbannya itu adalah perempuan tapi laki-laki juga ada.
Sekarang kan udah gede ya. Ya lu tau lah akibat dari catcall tuh waktu kecil kayak apa, orang jadi penakut segala macem. Ya untung-untung kalau ceweknya berani lawan ya, kalau enggak, nggak ngerti sih. Jadi please ya.
Oke, berarti karena gue tahu nih sekarang dengan obrolan ini, jadi gue kayak ke depan nggak bakal ngelakuin catcall lagi, dan gue akan lebih kayak ngerasa bahwa catcall itu ternyata bikin cewek itu trauma sih. Jadi gue ke depannya mungkin nggak akan ngelakuin catcall lagi.
Iya. Kalau lu berani kasih tahu teman-teman cowok lu.
Oke, siap.
Kalau di situ kasih tahu. Jangan catcall orang. Kalau emang mau ngajak kenalan, bilang permisi, boleh kenalan, itu lebih oke.
Oke, siap. Oke, thank you Bella.
To better understand the issue of sexual harassment, let's talk with sexual psychologist Zoya Amirin. Hi, Miss Zoya. There you are. Hi, Miss Zoya. Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon, and let's get right into it. So, sexual harassment cases in educational institutions are on the rise. What is the main cause of it?
It's because there's so many women and being harassed, and there's a lot of ignorance according to this issue, and we know that we still living in the patriarchy culture, and also the thing is with the patriarchal culture, and also how these days rape culture also being normalized a lot, and that's, I think people already get tired and they seeking for help, and they not really get the proper help, and it's really bothering a lot of people these days. And social media also have a lot of empowering people who want to speak up about this situation, and people also, especially the netizens these days, can see that how big power if you speak up, and they just like supporting you, and they try to help you to get the legal help or whatever is that you need these days.
Yeah, but the problem is probably in our culture, even our parents do not or did not teach us how to speak up, you know. So many girls had that in their previous years, in their youngster years, and then it causes the trauma. What do you suggest for us parents? Because, you know, Alia and Yani here, we already have kids, and also Akhir even. Yeah. What do you suggest to parents, you know, at least it comes from the parents, right? From the family.
Yeah, the thing is, we also to stop the victim blaming habit, you know. So there's an idea. This is also like part of the patriarchy culture. When you think that all is about man, that man is the right gender, the only right gender to do stuff like whatever that they want to do, right? So if, for instance, like we, as a parents, we need to be more teaching kids about feminism, about an equality, about that your body, it's your authority. It's also about that nobody can touch you whether that you want it or not. And the thing is, with the culture patriarchy and the body authority, this is a very a strong belief that we need to teach kids these days that that anybody who not respect you is just not okay, and you have to do something about it, and because you are precious, and not because you are women, and that you need to submit to other gender, not just to men or to other women or whoever who just crossing your boundaries. And also, we need to teach our kids about boundaries. We need to teach our kids about body authority. We also need to teach our kids that about gender equality, because most of the time, harassment or rape, even so, as you listen to the videos before, it's all about power. It's not really about sexual or about lust. It's not about how they want to express lust in so many ways, but they want to use their power to intimidate others, to abuse others in a sexual way. That's the thing, because if we believe that, like, virginity, it's the most important one in this country, then we going to have another assault and another assault. So if we believe that virginity is all everything that can define a good woman or a good girl or a good a good person, that's gonna be like if that's the basic idea of how to define a good person, then other gender will repress that using their power, abuse women who actually don't receive that idea, or even if I don't like you, I need to teach you about something, that the only thing that I need to teach you that can make you shame enough or listen to me, it's using my power to repress you sexually. That's a big problem these days about sex education. So if we want to protect our kids, first of all, we need to assure that we're not part of the perpetrators. We not make jokes about rape culture. That's very important a lesson to our kids these days, or to youngsters. And after that, then you can teach about boundaries, you can teach about body authority. But first of all, you really need to make sure that you're not part of the rape culture itself.
Right.
All right, Ms. Zoya, in addition, Indonesian Minister of Education, Culture, Research and Technology has officially signed special regulation regarding sexual violence on campus. So was it deemed effective in preventing sexual violence in educational institutions?
Oh yes, I definitely really have a lot of respect that this constitution really helped, because consent is a power. It's a very strong message to everyone that legally that you are being protected. Because most of the time when I help people who have like rape, or especially the hardest case is actually sexual harassment. Because rape case is real, and they have a legal protection over that. But sexual harassment like catcalling, KBGO, kekerasan berbasis gender online, or other things that they abuse you, like using your facial expression, unwanted sexual attention or stuff like that. You cannot prove stuff like that, and we don't have a legal protection yet. Especially we don't have the Rancangan Undang-Undang Penghapusan Kekerasan Seksual, or RUU PKS. The constitution is like being long on and off of prolegnas. It was so frustrating. So by having this by Kemendikbud, it was like really a very big step that at least the youngsters these days, especially on their college and university, they have a legal protection if they become victims of sexual harassment.
All right, Ms. Zoya, as a sexual psychologist, in your opinion, what are the impacts of sexual harassment on the victims, both physically and mentally? Because often victims are too afraid to report to the authorities, and why is that? Why do you think?
They hesitate to report this. One of the problem is because of the power relation between the perpetrators and the victims, and also the victim blaming idea that they don't want to be blamed. They sometimes they even blame themselves for like having a tonic immobility, for freezing during the assault, or for cannot do anything when it's happened, or they're afraid that there must be something that they're doing, or their clothes or whatever is that, because most people who still believe in victim blaming means they believe that there's no such thing. If you're not doing anything, somebody will do harm to you, you know. And the other thing also, some people still believe that only bad girls who actually have harassment or stuff like that. So that kind of thing make them like really afraid to report, especially if they're being intimidated by the perpetrators itself. For instance, the perpetrators have financial power over them, or in school, the lecturer, it's actually intimidate them for like, okay, I'm not gonna give you a good grade, I'm just gonna make you like have a good mark or whatever is that, and stuff like that. It's really make the victims, it's really afraid to just do something about it. What if they're reporting it and nobody believes them? Because the process itself, even for me as a psychologist, it's very hard to make it a case about it, or to put the perpetrators in jails, because we don't have a legal protection yet. So having this Permendikbudristek, it's really a big deal for everyone that, hey, you've been hurt, and whatever that, if you speak up, you know, this time we have a legal protection over you, and for sure that we will put the perpetrators in jail, you know, because of this legal protection that being made by the Permendikbudristek.
All right, talking about Ministry of Education, now how do you see this you know, preventive actions in schools? Because we know that in schools they also have sexual, what do you call it? Education, that's right, sexual education. Do you think we already have enough or sufficient sexual education that puts this type of, you know, sexual harassment preventions in the future for kids? Because, you know, sometimes they have a relationship, like this bucin relationship, and then they submit to each other. They don't realize that they're having sexual harassment in their own relationship.
Oh, it's true that actually that so many people experience it, that they have a delay trauma, or they have like a delay reaction over the trauma because they don't understand what it is yet. Like the video that we see before, the guy say like, oh, catcalling is something that I do for fun, not knowing what is it actually can impact other people. And the thing is that we need to teach like everyone what is actually a sexual harassment. What did you do? And what is consensual? You know, consensual is not like what other party, those actually, can I say that other party? Because some people still believe that this is like a legalized premarital sex. It was like so far from that idea. Because when you have consent, you have power. When you have consent, I can say no. So no means no, you know. If I'm not saying anything, I didn't say consent, you know. It's not mean yes. So if I didn't say anything, if I'm drunk, for instance, or if I'm too dizzy, or I'm sleeping and I'm not saying yes, or whatever is that, unless a clear yes, it's not okay for you to do that. So the good sex education, it's about let everybody knowing what is sexual harassment actually. So you cannot doing something harassing and you can, you know, casually say it's like, hey, it's just kidding. I'm just kidding. Come on. Don't be like what Indonesian most youngsters these days say, like, jangan baper, right? Like, it's like, oh, maybe you are so bucin, that's why, you know, you're so sensitive, you know. This is a joking. We do these things these days, that the normalize of rape culture.
Yeah.
So they need to understand what is rape culture. Don't be part of it. You cannot, unintentionally, a lot of youngsters these days, or a lot of us like these days, get into the rape culture habit, or doing a harassment just because they don't understand what actually is a harassment. Harassment is just simply everything that you did, your expression, your word, your body gesture, you know, whatever is that make other people sexually uncomfortable. You know, you don't have to touch people to harass them. You can look at them, you can calling them, or you can like make a wink or make a facial expression that you like wanna eating them, you know, inside out or stuff like that, you know, and in a sexual way, of course. You're like, it's just something that make people not comfortable, or staring at someone from like toe to head and stuff like that, and with the sexual intention, of course, as long as it makes a person not comfortable sexually, your word, whatever is that, it's a sexual harassment. And in a sex education, we need to teach everybody about this. And it's important to have a sexual consent, especially if you are like above 18. Because if you are like under 18, it means you're still being protected legally by Undang-Undang Perlindungan Anak, right? So it's the child constitution over that. But when you're 18 and above, that's like no way. So I remember before this constitution from Permendikbudristek, it's like being announced. I remember when my daughter entering university, the first thing I give her is like a paper spray.
Wow.
And all of this.
That's the real thing. Yeah.
But, you know,
The weapon.
I was scared that no matter what, that she's gonna be there, you know, with all the consent. I said like, happy birthday, happy 18, but you know, as a like, mommy who's actually being a little bit protective, and I was like, hey, you know what it means being 18 for her, and I said like, it means that you need a consent, you know, the sexual education, I need to teach them, like it's a little bit different than puberty, because when she reached puberty, I taught her like, hey, you can get pregnant, you know, because you are already active sexually, so you have to be careful, you know, about the sexual contact and stuff like that, and what is a sexual contact, what it means for you, how you put meaning to your life, how you choose to be virgin or not virgin and stuff like that. But the only thing that I gave her that on her 18th birthday, that, hey girl, you have a consent, okay? Your body is your authority. Remember that your body is not a democracy. Your body, it's like, you know, it's a monarchy.
Yes.
You know?
So that pepper spray
like,
for you and against the world.
Like
Yes,
Yeah.
Ms. Zoya, I think I will
Right.
follow your step. I will give the pepper spray for my daughter
Yeah,
when
on her 18th
and on
birthday.
her birthday, of course.
All right, Ms. Zoya, thank you so much for enlightening us with your comprehensive answers. And I just have to say that it's so nice to see you speak about sexual harassment so passionately. It's just great for me. It's nice to hear you say that. Stay safe and stay healthy.
Appreciate that.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ms. Zoya. All right, once again, remember, we should always be mindful of what we say and do and respect each other. Later after the break, we will see some exciting stories about Indonesian Marine Corps, so please stay with us on City Stories, only on See Today.